All right, y'all. It is time to chat, finally. My phone says I've got 41 minutes left, so I'm trying to make this a quick chat. So, it was not last night, but the night before, and I'm in the closet with the door closed. I'm in my kids' closet. My two adult male iguanas, this is their territory. I do not use it for myself. I use it for them. And Juno is trying to come out and hang out right now, but I actually have laundry to hang up to let dry in here, and he is going to charge and attack if he sees me moving stuff around. So he's just gonna need to wait until I'm done telling this story. So all right, so it wasn't last night, but it was the night before. I finally had an opportunity to go to bed early, and I'm talking like before 9 o'clock. I had everything done early. I had the kids' rooms cleaned. I had made dinner. I had literally done everything that needed to get done. The only thing I had left to do was to eat dinner. And my plan, because I was like, I want to start reading the Quran before going to sleep. And I thought, instead of like being on the phone or doing something stimulating, my plan has been I can get everything done, and then like at 8 o'clock I'll just start reading, because I do get tired after like 30 minutes to an hour of reading. So I thought that would be perfect, because it's something that makes me feel really fulfilled going into sleep, and really connected and really witnessed. And I do not like the lighting here on my nose, y'all. I don't like it. Maybe I'll come closer to you like this. So yeah. So I had the opportunity. The only thing I had left to do it was like 7:30. I want to say it was like 7:30. So, and I wanted to be asleep by 9 to get onto this routine, and this night was set up perfectly. Everything was peaceful, the kids were sleeping, and all I had left to do was to eat dinner. And I was even gonna leave my dishes for the next morning, because I was planning to wake up before 6 a.m. So I have plenty of time to do my dishes in the morning. So I made something that I make all the time. I made peppers, sauteed peppers, and onions, and then I put that on a pancake. And so half of it, so I saute a big old pot of bell peppers, yellow peppers, orange peppers, red peppers, some tomato, onion, one habanero chopped up, and then I add a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of the red pepper flakes, and a little bit of coconut. So this is something that I make multiple times a week, like at least 3 times a week. I will make this, and I always do about the same amount of things. I'll do the one habanero. That's it, just one habanero chopped up. And I have eaten this meal many times. So I sit down feeling like really happy, like, yes, I'm gonna eat this meal, and then I'm gonna read, and then I'm gonna fall asleep before 9 o'clock. I'm getting onto my routine. This is what I have been like wanting. I even like prayed on it. I was like, please help me to stick on my routine and stay focused, and I was feeling like that was happening. And I started eating. So, the pot of food that I made, half of it I keep as like peppers sauteed, and then the other half of it I blend up into a sauce that I use to spread onto my pancakes, and just add into my pastas during the week and stuff, my chickpea pastas, because it adds a good flavor. So just like even a spoonful into some pasta, it adds a lot of depth. So yeah, that was a side note. So yeah, so I started eating the First I roast, actually, I'm tripping. First I roast the vegetables is what I do. I roast them. So, okay, but anyways, the whole point is I do this all the time. I eat this exact meal all the time. So I start eating, I've got my pancake made, I've got my peppers made, and I start eating. This is what I do every time. I pick some off because I'm always so excited when I roast things or I saute things. I always start eating ahead of the meal because I just want to taste it. And it tastes so good that I just pick at it while I'm getting my meal together. So that's what I'm doing. And I made the pancake, and the spice was hitting, the spice from the habanero started hitting, and I could feel it. My mouth was on fire, but it didn't really register in my brain because this is something that I eat all the time. Same amount of everything. Now, I feel like the only difference was I had been taking vitamin B for a week. And then that day was the first day that I stopped taking it because the vitamin D was tearing up my stomach, which has never happened to me before. I have periodically taken vitamin B. Did I say D? I do take D sometimes too, but vitamin B complex, pardon me, I just had a big breakfast. Just one capsule in the morning with healthy fats. And I did that for a week, and my stomach, my digestion turned to mush, and my poop turned a yellowish color. And when I had used the bathroom, it felt like an emergency. It felt like when you gotta go, you gotta go, you have no say kind of feeling. And I figured out it was from the vitamin B, which I had never experienced before. So I'm thinking that my vitamin B, now I've been doing Dr. Sebi's way of life as far as eating goes for about a month now. So I'm wondering if my body has neutralized, and I feel like I've used the word homeostasis before, but everything is leveled out, with my nutrients. Everything's on point, everything's just right how it should be. So I'm wondering if taking that vitamin B complex, one capsule each morning, like I said, which I've done in the past and never had this experience. It does turn my pee bright yellow as well, but never had I ever experienced the digestion issues I felt for that week like I had taken a laxative. Now, I didn't realize it was from the vitamin B at first because I had taken vitamin B so many times in my life, this specific one, in bouts, for a week, trying to just get if I felt low energy or something like that. And I never had it tear up my stomach and turn my poop yellow like something that you might see in a baby's diaper. So yeah, so I didn't realize it was the vitamin B at first. I was thinking has the lack of sleep finally caught up with my body and my digestion is just saying, you can't, we can't, we need sleep, we're on strike, don't put anything more in here. We need a break. We need a rest. We need actual sleep. So I didn't know if my digestive system was just shutting down and needing to rest, or if something with my new way of eating was changing. It had been a month, and I thought, well, maybe there's some kind of shift that's just now taking place, Or I thought because I'm constantly rotating my fruits and vegetables and, different grains and all that, I'm always rotating and trying to do new ones so that I keep a variety. So the new ones that I had just added during that time were apricots and plums. And before that I had cantaloupe. So I try to not repeat, I try to add new things as much as possible. So, I mean, yeah, I've got my staples meals that I make, but But in addition to that, I try to mix up the variety so that I'm getting the different nutrients from the different foods. Yeah, so that they hit the body, in the way that they're designed to. So yeah, I have all these things. I'm like at my stress from my kids, like needing all this extra like care. I mean, literally caring for them right now has become a full-time job. Thank God the Most High, seriously, that I'm not working right now. I'm trying to get my side hustles grooving, but usually most of my day is spent with these kids. So anyway, so I'm trying to think. I'm like, yeah, do I just need a good night's sleep? Do I need to fast? Give the digestion a break? Like, is this eating plan not working for my body? Like, am I lacking something? Is there something too much? But up until I started taking the vitamin B, I was feeling pretty good. My bloating was gone. My energy was higher, even with the lower amounts of sleep and not sleeping straight through the night in months. My energy was still feeling good. My mental clarity was better. My memory is better, So I was thinking, like, okay, what have I done different? And what popped up was like, okay, I ate apricots and I ate plums, which I think I've heard people eat those for constipation. So in my mind, I was like, well, maybe they are too much, too much fiber. Maybe I could have one here and there, but it wasn't even that. It was the vitamin B. So I remembered, oh yeah, I started taking vitamin B, which I didn't think anything of, but I was realistically thinking of anything different that I had done, and that was one thing different that I had been doing for that week. And the stomach stuff started that week. So I'm like, well, let me stop taking the vitamin B, which I didn't even think that it would resolve the stomach issues, but it did. Gosh, I'm trying to my storage is gonna run out. So yeah, I stopped taking the vitamin B, and that day that I stopped taking it, I started feeling better and I started feeling more energy. It was like it was draining my energy. I don't know if my organs were having to work too hard because I had excess, because my body was already like exactly where it needed to be, I feel. I don't know. I ain't no doctor. I just know what I experience and my symptoms and how I feel. And then when I take action or make changes, then what results happen, that's what I know. So, yeah. And then the second day, back to normal, which was like yesterday, I think, or the day before. I can't remember, but yes, the vitamin B experience for that week was not comfortable. I was going places, going to people's houses, going to dance classes, and I'm just like praying, like, my stomach is like, if we gotta go, like, we gotta go, so not comfortable. But anyway, so that's over. No more vitamin B for me. I'm good. And it's funny because vitamin B is not on Dr. Sebi's eating plan, but I just decided, to try to supplement, see if it would raise my energy a little bit, with the lack of sleep. But I didn't need it. I did not need it. So anyways, y'all. So that was the only thing different. My whole point of telling you all that was the only thing different that I had done. Okay, so fast forward to what I'm trying to tell you about. I made this meal that I've made and eaten so many times, and I'm eating, and all of a sudden the habanero is hitting me. So I don't know if taking that vitamin B for a week had some effect on how the habanero hit my body. So I Googled it later, and there's a certain compound, or I don't know what it is, a chemical, it's a thing in habanero. It's like a cassispian, something like that. It's a whole thing. But my mouth, I'm picking at the food, eating it like I normally do. My mouth is on fire, but my brain is ignoring it because I'm like, you eat this all the time. I'm not even it's not even really hitting my awareness. So I make my pancake. I'm about to put the stuff on top. And I realized, oh my God, I'm starting to feel faint. My body, it hurts. like it's burning my esophagus or like whatever, my throat, the tube that goes down here, like it's burning. Like the way that my mouth was on fire is how like this whole area of my torso was like on fire. And I'm like, damn, bro, like what the hell happened? I'm sitting here like like starting to sweat, like, and starting to feel really faint, and I can feel like my blood pressure is dropping, and my head is getting like extremely lightheaded, all from eating this spice. And I'm like, this does not usually affect me this way. Like, what is going on? And it wasn't like it was a extra big habanero or anything, you know? It was just a little one, like, and I kind of felt like I wasn't freaking out, but I felt like my body was freaking out. Like my body like was like something's happening. So at this point, I'm like just engulfed in this feeling of like feeling like I'm about to faint, and feeling like the fire just in here and in my mouth, and I'm sweating. And I was like, am I like having an allergic reaction or something? Like I should go look in the mirror, because my face felt like, you know, flush, like it felt drained. And I was like, I should go look in the mirror and see if my face is turning purple or something, because it felt, you know, where when you're about to like pass out and you feel like, oh, like I gotta sit down, you know, I gotta lay down on the ground because I don't have any strength right now. All from eating a damn meal that I eat all the time. So I go and I look in the mirror, and my face was like Casper the Ghost. Like, if you think that this is light or white, you should have seen it that night. It was like the color of the wall, bro. So I look in the mirror in the bathroom. I'm like, oh shit, like your color is gone. What the fuck? So I was like, I think I'm gonna pass out. Like, I don't want to just pass out here by myself in my apartment. Like, what happens? I don't really know. I need to be with somebody. So some of my neighbors just moved. They just moved close, like across the hall from me. They were living in a different area in the building, and yeah, they just moved. And we had just briefly encountered each other a couple times when they were moving. I helped them with a little thing, and I was moving a few things, and they helped me with a little thing, you know. So we just had that really good mutual kind of neighborly, you know, oh, let me give you a hand real quick. Oh yeah, let me give you a hand real quick. And just I just felt like really cared for by them, you know, like they helped me bring some bags out to my car and open the door, and like on a really cold day brought them all the way out to my car with me. Like, you know, it's just sometimes that might seem little, but to me that was a really big deal. That was a day that I was feeling so anxious when I woke up because of the ice shit going on, especially in my community, my city. My city is just under attack by them. And like I think there was like supposedly going to be some kind of like hate groups meeting that morning. And yes, that's what it was. And so I was like calling my local representative. Of course, our mailbox was full, and she kind of got attacked in a way during one of her speeches, which is just messed up. What is this world coming to, where you can't even, you know, it's like you got people infiltrating, you know, in the crowd, and it's just like, but she's so brave and she's so strong, and she's like, I'm here to do what I'm here to do, and I'm not gonna let people and fear mongering stop me on my mission to serve the people and do what's right. So more power to her. But yeah, her local mailbox was full, so I called her Washington office and got to speak to a live person who represents her in Washington. Gave them the information like, hey, do you all know that these groups might potentially be meeting here in the city? And they actually hadn't heard that. So she took my information down. She's like, if we have more questions, can we give you a call? Can we email you? I'm like, yes. Which I thought was amazing, because they are swamped right now with with people calling about everything that's going on. I was really impressed. I felt very seen, very heard. I felt like what I told her, because she said, like, we're going to look into it. This is the first that we've heard about it. And then I also had called the local police department that morning to be like, hey, have you guys heard that these groups might potentially be meeting here today? Because, like, this city has been so peaceful. Like, we've been protesting and we've been helping each other. We've been helping our neighbors, helping our community, our fellow humans, and we've done it so peacefully. So I just was like, I want to make sure that, like, that our citizens, or our, you know, like, citizen, non-citizen, whatever, but like our community members are not put on the front line trying to defend themselves against some potential, like, riots or whatever. So I wanted the, you know, police to be aware, like, so that they can come and do whatever is needed. Like, so anyway, so yeah, that morning, and then there was other stuff that happened. I just woke up feeling just this heaviness from everything going on, and, like, you know, just me, like, I haven't had any direct encounters with ICE, and, like, I haven't, you know, like, there's people who are experiencing horrific, terrible things to themselves and families, and I just was really feeling it. I had nightmares that the night before waking up. Like, I had nightmares about it, and, like, I woke up feeling like I could barely breathe, or, like, I could barely talk. So, like, when I called the representatives, like, my voice didn't even want to come out because I was, like, feeling so much anxiety, and, like, there's just so much anxiety and fear because of what's going on. And I'm very empathetic too, so, like, you know, I believe I can sense a lot of the collective energy. I think we all can when we really tune in. But yeah, so and it was interesting because my ex and I were meeting for the first time to give each other our belongings back. And we had broken up at the end of December. And normally that might have been on my mind, you know, because we were meeting at 1 p.m. At the grocery store in the parking lot to give each other our belongings back that we had. And that wasn't even really on my mind because I was, like, feeling consumed with all the other feelings, you know, like the heaviness and the fear and the anxiety were just, like, on my chest. And, like, so that was, like, keeping my attention, and just, like, what's going on in the city. So that, in a way, lined up as a blessing and a curse, because I didn't even have time to, like, be anxious or, like, nervous or overthink meeting with my ex. You know, the ex. It's not mine, it's the ex, you know what I mean? Like, I do think it's funny when people say my ex, because that, to me, when you're saying something is mine, it creates, like, a possession or an attachment. It's the ex, or a man I used to, you know, date, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that creates a connection when, if it's the ex, there should be, like, a separation. You know, not to take away from the experience that was had together or anything like that, but I'm just saying, not bringing the past into the present day by calling it mine. So, but yeah, so and then there was, like, stuff that popped up that morning, and meeting my new neighbors who just moved by me for the first time right before bringing the ex his stuff helped. There was a few different connections that were made in the morning before that, and each connection that I had helped bring me out of that, like, fearful, anxious, like, closed in state of feeling and being. It kind of helped, like, open me up and feel safe, because these interactions that I had, like, with the neighbors, meeting them, it felt good and it felt safe, and it kind of helped me kind of, like, open up, you know, like a flower, like, that had closed up. It helped me, you know, blossom back up a little bit. into my true nature and not be in like protection mode or whatever. And that felt good. So then, all of a sudden, oh, and there was something else that happened too. Shoot, I'm gonna have to do 2 parts on this one because something else that happened was I realized like I needed to donate some food to the community. And I had this thought like I need to donate food, and like I don't have a lot of dollars in my bank account or anywhere, like, and I'm not limiting myself by saying that because they're about to start flowing and rolling in, but that was just the reality of that moment. Was like, okay, like, I want to buy food and donate to help people. However, I barely have enough money to buy my own food, but I do have enough to get what I need. And so, like, I never want to put myself in a hole, like dig myself in a hole, but I do have, one of my values is that if I have and somebody else doesn't have and they're in need, that I can help them. And God provides. The universe always provides for me. So I don't need to worry because, if I met a woman, she was in my apartment hallway a couple weeks ago. I had just taken $40 out of the ATM so that I could have some backup cash in case I went negative. 20 of it I went right away and got laundry tokens because I was like, let me get these laundry tokens before anything pops up so that I can do my laundry. And then the other 20 I was going to kind of keep like as a backup. So I had a $20 bill in my wallet, and I was going to like take out my garbage and start my car because it was really cold. It was really cold that day, and there was a woman and she had this walker, and I opened the door because there's so many doors to go through in this building. It's like a maze. Like, when I first moved here, I got lost multiple times because even like when you go out of the building, there's different doors you can go in and out of that are right next to each other, but they don't collide. Like, they go different places. So, if you came out of this door, if I went from my apartment to the dumpster and I used this door, but then I try to take this door back in, which is right next to it, they're separated in such a way that I can't get back to my apartment through this door. Like, they're not connected, but everything looks similar. It's like a big building. It's a really cool building. It used to be a hotel. So, but I opened the door and there was this woman there sitting in her walker, and she was like, oh, you startled me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And I was like, honestly, you startled me just a little bit too. Like, I flinched a little bit inside. I wasn't expecting someone to be sitting there right on the other side of the door when I opened it, And she was like, she told me, hey, she told me I'm from Chicago. She said, I don't like to ask for help. I have a hard time asking for help. But me and my family, like, I've got 3 kids and we're just trying to get a bus back to Chicago, and I just need $9. And there was a plate of, like, a little bit of food on this paper plate with some plastic forks that was sitting, like, close to her. And she had said she had been going to different, like, stores and restaurants and businesses, because we have a lot of shops, like, in this area, a lot of local shops. And she's like, I went around asking for any food from anybody and nobody would give me food, and she was saying, man, black people are so mean to black people, like, it's crazy. And I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, like, there's this value where I feel like, okay, like, I don't have a lot of money myself, for example, but I have everything I need. Like, I have food, I have clothes, I have warmth, I've got, I'm set. So if somebody else doesn't have those things and I can help them get them, if I was in that position, I would want someone to do the same for me. So that's what I try to do for people. So I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, we're hungry. We walked around outside in the cold for like hours trying to get this plate of food, and like no one would help us out at all. Like, you know, like we're telling people like we're hungry, like we don't have money. We're trying to get back home, and all of this. She had a story about how she ended up, in that situation. But she's like, we just need $9 more for us to get back on the bus and get to Chicago. And so I just said, yeah, I got you. And because I had that 20, I was like, I have $20. I got you. I'm like, maybe you can get some more food with this 20 as well. Because, and for me, that felt like a lot, to be honest. Like for me, that giving someone $20 felt hefty for me, like it's not like my bank account's not jam packed, like, so it feels like a big give, but it's not, because the universe provides when we help our fellow human beings and our neighbors, and like the universe is like, yeah, like you gave what you had, I'm gonna get you back, don't you worry. So okay, so anyways, side note, but so, and I said, yeah, that's crazy. I said, if you got $2, and you have food and someone else needs $2 or they need food, like, give it to them. So, but I wished her warmth and a safe journey. It was cold. It was negative. Like, I think it was like -40 wind chill. Like and that day I was taking the bus too. So, standing out at that bus stop, felt cold, actually, with my groceries, which was where I got the $20, was at the grocery store. Actually, it was not the ATM. It was $20 cash, $40 cash back at the register. That's what it was. So yeah, I just thought about, even during the day, standing outside in the daylight, how cold it felt, and her family are just looking for some food. So, but yeah, so she was telling me like her and her, I think she said 3 kids or something like that. They all shared that little plate of food. That's why I could see the different, a bunch of different plastic forks on it, because they were all eating off of that one plate of food, So, yeah. And like, I literally only had fresh foods, and I was like, I am about to go cook. Like, I literally couldn't give you any like food aside from handing you like a green pepper or like lettuce, but I'm about to go cook, I could bring you some food after I cook, but aside from that, it's gonna be like I've got like a cantaloupe, I've got a mango, on a cold day. And I think they really appreciated however they got that plate of food, that warm plate of food. It really did them good. So this is why I gotta keep up on my stories, y'all. Why did I get into this one? Oh yes, donating. Okay, so the day that I met my new neighbors, and the day that I was meeting the ex, I keep slipping, y'all. I keep slipping on my own words here, but so yes, it was the day that I woke up feeling anxious, was calling people, my neighbors and I helped each other out, and then I was meeting the ex at 1 p.m. at the grocery store to exchange our belongings. It was that day I told myself, like girl, you gotta get some food for people. And I think that woman was the night before. So this is why I gotta tell stories right away, because I forget, I forget the details, and everything is connected. It's like it's like a web. It's a web. It really is. Like, it's not, it's like they appear like they're, separate occurrences, but there's meaning in these occurrences, and like they relate and they lead up and they have like a cause and effect and stuff like that. Everything's connected, the butterfly effect. And so, yeah, so I told myself, like, exactly what I had said to that woman, like, okay, there's people who need food. I had watched a video about some place, it was like a warehouse. People were volunteering to help feed immigrants and people who didn't feel safe to leave their houses. And people who were volunteering to do that literally got abducted from ICE. And it's like, it was on the news. It was like a news thing. So it's like, and one of the women who was leading this beautiful operation to try to get food out to people. I mean, these guys are packing a ton of food to distribute to people who need food and who are terrified to leave a shelter, they're terrified. And, like, ICE was abducting people from that operation and detaining people, and the woman was speaking out on, like, every human should have food. Like, every human should have food. I mean, people who are in jail, people, murderers eat food. So, like, for somebody to try to stop food from going to people, I felt so emotional over, like, it just felt so wrong. It's like, that's not hindering, that's not directly stopping anybody else's process, just giving somebody food. Like, so I had all this stuff in my mind, like in my heart, whatever. And I'm like, I don't have like a lot of dollars in my bank account, but I do have enough to buy people food, and so I need to get people some food. So, and it's really cool. So I'm like, when I meet up with the ex at the grocery store, I'm gonna get a bunch of food donations. And it's really cool, even because at this grocery store, I'm gonna have to cut this, post it, and then do a part 2 because my storage is about to run out. I'm at 36.48, and it says I have 41.38 left, but usually it doesn't go all the way to the cap of what it says that I have. So so I made that decision. I was like, yes, when I go, even though I had just been to the store the day before, the day of the woman, the bus stop, and getting the $40 back, even though I had just gone to the grocery store the day before, I realized, like, I need to get food for giving to other people who need it. And so I'm like, well, I'm meeting the ex at 1, so I'll just get the food to donate when we meet up, like, cool. Like, it's not even an extra trip, because I gotta take my car, because all his stuff is in my car, because a lot of times I usually just walk or bus to the store, usually just walk, but I was busing because my car was in the shop and I was farther away and all that. So but then I got my car back for the day of meeting. It's all, you know what I'm saying? But so I made that decision, and it was getting like close to 1 o'clock. And right when I made that decision, in my mind and heart, I was like, the universe provides, God provides. Like, I'm not afraid. And immediately I got this text and I was about to try to leave, because I am always running late. Like, I'm on Rasta time. Like, I'm always like running late, because like there's stuff that happens is going on. And so I was like, I'm trying to be early, I'm trying to be on time. And then I got this text from my apartment complex saying, oh, I got to do a part 2, y'all. I got to post this, and I got to do a part 2 right after I post this, which it might take a minute to post because it's 38 minutes.